So today we're going to take on our exhaust system, and so what we're doing here is we're basically repainting a brand new exhaust system. We're going to attempt to repaint the entire system. Why would we want to repaint a brand new exhaust system when it comes coated already? For a couple reasons. Number one, the muffler color doesn't exactly match the heat exchange color, and I'm pretty positive, although the Porsche historians would know more about this than I would, but early cars, they had the same matching color on their muffler as their heat exchange, and this particular setup here didn't come with the same color arrangement, so that's one of the reasons we're doing it. The other reason we're doing it is if we ever damage this here, or this here gets scratched, discolored, and we want to tune it up, we don't have any material or an exact paint match that's going to work. So the material we're going to use is ceramic-based high temperature coating. It's from SATA. It's a really high quality. I haven't shot it before, so it should be interesting to see how it turns out, how it flows out, and the overall finished look. So let's take a close-up look at these, and then we're going to compare them with our original heat exchangers, see what's different about those, because these are the newer, revised, updated version. There's a couple of small differences on it. And then we'll take a look at our 60mm muffler, show you what we did to prep this for paint, and then we'll get started. Having a look at our heat exchangers first. So I purchased everything here with the exception of my exhaust tip, which is from Porsche. These heat exchangers and muffler were purchased from RM European, and I really recommend those guys if you are looking for a muffler or heat exchange set for your car. Excellent pricing, and customer service really good. And they had these to me literally in one day. So the replacement heat exchangers and muffler are from JP Dance Group. The reason I chose these ones is because I've had really good luck with everything I've used on the car that is sourced from JP Group. They really do a quality job, and I haven't had any issues with them with anything I've used to date. This is aluminized steel that is painted or coated. Same thing with our muffler. The stainless steel systems, they look really beautiful, and I really fought it as to what I wanted to put on the car, but I think for this stage of the car we really got to stick with what's original and get as close as we can, because the exhaust system on these cars are they're quite extensive, quite a big piece of the car, so aesthetically and functionally it really is something we got to stick with just for the restoration. Even though the stainless steel looks really beautiful. Another reason to go with a aluminized steel, let's just say we go to fit these on the engine and we're having slight issues of alignment, screw holes won't quite match up, or something needs to happen where we have to open up the holes or shave something or grind something a little bit. If you've ever tried to work with stainless steel, it is next to impossible to work with. It's really hard material, pretty hard to get through, drill, grind, anything you want to do with it is going to be really difficult. With aluminized steel, it's not going to be any problem. If we need to make an adjustment, we can do it, and then we can touch it up with our paint. And looking at our exhaust tips here, so the one on the left is the one that came with the muffler. Pretty decent finish. Looks like a brushed stainless to some degree there. It's not chrome. The one on the right here, this is a polished stainless, and this one is from Porsche. These are both 60mm tips, and that's what would come with the car. So we're not going to put this on until the mufflers are on the car, and they have been heat treated with running the car a few times, and once everything's been baked on, we'll go ahead and drive that tip on there. Okay, so let's just compare them side by side and see exactly what the subtle differences are. So on the original here, I don't have an accessory hot air tube coming off the top. So this tube here would be something that would be on your newer set. For what year that is for, I have no idea. Maybe you guys could help us out in the comments section below and let us know what that is for and how that plugs in. The other thing I see here that's slightly different is you can see we have a support bracket and a bolt through there on our original, and moving over to this side they don't have it, so probably not needed there. There's probably plenty of tension on there the way it's hooked up with clearance. It's just something that's not needed. And then looking at our right side here, the only subtle difference I could see with this one would be the clearance indent on this guy here, and the original doesn't have it. That's pretty much it for the heat exchangers. And then looking at our muffler here, so I don't actually have the original muffler to compare this to. I threw that out years ago as it was just completely shot. But this is basically ordered out as a stock performance muffler with a 60mm tip, and that would be for an early car. But when it came in, it was kind of a silvery metallic gray color. Didn't look like our heat exchangers at all, and not a baked on finish. So I was able to cut the paint and remove it with acetone quite simply, and we'll put a clip in here to show you how I did that. But I was not able to cut the finish on the heat exchanger, so that's why we haven't removed the paint on those. It's just not able to do it. So they are baked on, and when this muffler came in, it was not baked on. So it's probably high temperature paint that needs a few heat cycles from the engine to bake it on. Why they're different, why they use a different coating, I have no idea. But anyhow, that's what we're working with. Let's take a look at that clip. Okay, so we're just stripping her down with acetone. Real simple to do. Just basically washing it down with a brush. Get the bulk of it off of there. And then we can wipe it down with some paper towel when we get closer. And then rinse it down with a squirt bottle to get even closer. And once this all dries off, then we'll go ahead and etch it with a Scotch-Brite, and we're ready to paint. Okay, so that went pretty smooth. About 45 minutes to get that completely stripped off of there and rinsed down. So we're nice and clean now. Now I'm going to etch it with some Scotch-Brite. This is the part number, and this would be referred to as like an ultrafine. So we're just going to do a nice scratch coat on this. We're going to clean it up really good, blow it off with compressed air, and then get it ready for paint. With an etch on there, we have much better chance for good adhesion. Slick surface, not so much. It could blister off. If it scratches, it could peel later. So etch is really the safest bet. And then a quick look at our paint printouts here. So this is from Stoddard. You can pause this and get anything you need off that. There's a color of the paint there. And then also our data sheets from Highland International. So recoat time is 1 to 2 hours, so it's quite a bit of time between coats. We'll have to see what it looks like after the first coat. We'll probably go again, most likely, and have 2 coats. And then we're going to be shooting with our SATA 5000 RP. All right, let's take a look at our first coat. So real happy with the way that sprayed out. I think we got a nice wet coat. No runs, it's not granular and not dry in any way. It's a very heavy solids type paint, but real beautiful finish. So 1 hour minimum between coats. Booth temperature now is 80 degrees. While this is setting up, I'm going to take those heat exchangers outside, scuff them, and get them ready to go. Okay, so we're coming up on an hour here. Let's take a look and see how she's drying up. Just a real beautiful finish for this ceramic coating. The color is supposed to mimic very closely to the original lice-rich color that these cars came with back in the day. And also, one claim that they're making here is that the color won't change. So as this exhaust system ages, it's supposed to maintain this color. Also, when it heats up, color stability is supposed to be right there. So real nice quality coating. Okay, so getting ready to go on our heat exchanger. So we have scuff sanded, and these sanded up really well, powdered nice, and compressed air blow off after that, followed by a damp microfiber rag, and then a painting prep cleaner and tack rag after that. So we're pretty clean, ready to spray out here. So the strategy on these guys, we're going to have to move around it as quickly as we can. A little bit more difficult to get in and out of all these nooks and crannies. So I'm going to spray the top side first. That way the overspray blows through the cracks. And then we're going to come around to this side and finish up by spraying the bottom, because this is the side we're going to see. So we'll have our best coat down here, and any overspray will land on the top side. Take a look here and see how we did on our first coat. So everything seems to be drying up real nice. And one of the things I really like about this paint is it seems to be very forgiving, especially on a spray where you have something as complex as this shape here. You got a lot of nooks and crannies. You got two sides, actually four sides. You got to finish out. So you got overspray going everywhere. And it really seems to take that well. And that's probably one of the reasons for its 1 hour recoat time. It just takes a little bit longer to settle in. If it flashed too quickly, then you'd have a real coarse, gritty type finish on the surface. But really happy with the way that's spraying out. Take a look at this one here. Same thing here. Real forgiving paint to work with. I can't wait to see exactly how it performs once we get it on the car. Okay, so we got our second coat down. We're about 30 minutes into the drying time. Let's take a look and see exactly what it looks like with two coats on there. So this is the back side, and you can see how everything really is just tightening up. It's got a nice smooth finish to it. And we're on the bottom side. And I think this is going to work out just perfect for us. And this guy over here, really tightening up nice. I think the amazing thing here is how well everything looks on the back side. You know, as turbulence gets around all these parts, you have air blowing through there, and it still can work itself out. That's the sign of a really high quality premium paint. And then taking a look at our material, so that's all the material we used to do the job here. No thinning. It recommends not to thin it, but if you do need to reduce it, up to 10% is what they recommend, and you'll need a special reducer to go with that. But I just shot it right out of the can, stirred it up real good, double strained it, and we're ready to go. Okay, so we can strike one more thing off the list. We got our exhaust system underway here. So I guess at this point we really need to be very careful how we handle these as far as moving them around the shop, installing them on the engine, and working around the car. Until this gets heat cured, I imagine the paint will stay fairly soft. I'm going to put some helpful links down below for you guys looking to paint your exhaust system, or even possibly looking to acquire a new exhaust system. Hopefully that'll help you out. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.